Oh, I didn't check to see if this is on. So I don't know if you're hearing me through the microphone or otherwise. Let me see. I have to test this. I'm going to test real quick so I'm not gone on YouTube and just see if anything is playing out loud or in the headphones to double check. So give me a second. It's just real quick. Because I can't be sure. Okay, so we're live here. I will do the headphones. I put them on because I was going to do it on the phone. I find I get better sound that way. I should be okay here. So what we're talking about today, Happy New Year, is building our money this year because we are now prosperous. We are the treasure. I did this for my school, so I have in there how you can join. Please do. It's free to join. And then I have different things from there that you'll get to decide, but join for free because you get some neat swag, even for the free one. And then there's different tiers that you get more. But for the basic one, my create your thing or what's my thing, Ange, which I do sell for $11. If you join my school, you get it for $9 if you're in the free program. And it's really great because I work with Chat GPT, which I highly recommend if you haven't and you need help working with that. I also can offer you a course in that or a day in that or several days in that, whatever you need. And then we'll talk, a fair price for that. I probably could do for $11. That'd be great. Just spend a day or not even a day. I tell you, I can really get you moving on the Chat GPT if you have no clue how to use it. And I could do it right here on Zoom. Well, this is not Zoom, this is YouTube, but I can do a Zoom thing with you real quick. Yeah, I'd only charge $11 for that or less, but join my school. You may even get it for free there because I may just do one for the school people, but you have to be a member. And so that's right there. So you can do it. If you come online now, that'd be great. I have the chat open. So if somebody wants to talk, I haven't done a live for a while. I am bringing up for the new year my YouTube because I need you. So please follow. Please subscribe. It's time. So Happy New Year 2026. I just saw it in. This is what I look like in 2026. Need a haircut, hair color, because the gray is coming. And my natural red is reddish brown. You can see a lot of brown now. Is gone away from many times that I had to keep it in. The gray is not terrible. You can see this is pretty much, I don't think I have any more dye in my hair. I really don't. But it's much too long at this point. Yes. And this is what we call Loving Money Honey energy. Okay, Loving Money Honey is my name for my money. I have several things on my school about that. You should name your money. You can name it Buddy. You can name it Ben. You can name it, Deborah. You name it, Loving Money Honey, which is what I named it. That's also something I do with Chat GPT. A lot of people do. You can name it. You can name it anything. Susie, baby. I call it Chatty Baby. So I'm good friends with my Chatty Baby, which is Chat GPT. I highly recommend it. This is a relaxed thing. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to have a heart-to-heart talk with you about money. I have, for many years, working through the law of assumption, the Neville Goddard way, for those who don't know, mindset, let's call it. I've worked with many things. I've been up and down. For the most part, I got caught up in what most people do in today's day and age, that you have family history. Let's call the family thing not enough money. Money doesn't grow on trees. We were upper middle class for a while. My family growing up, my family of origin, where I was raised, and then we went to, I guess, middle to lower middle income for the majority of my life. In my own personal journey as an adult on my own, moving to New York, still with the help of my parents for many years, and parent when my father passed away. But back and forth. I hope my mother's through some years too. I've worked my jobs. I've paid my dues as an artist. This school that I'm advertising right now, I have 3. This one's basically for people who want to do their business, whatever it may be. It can be business, I've worked in a lot of corporate offices, by the way, a lot of law offices. I've worked with everybody from lawyers to even doctors. Many of my friends from my early years in theater became doctors. Interesting enough, some psychiatrists, psychologists, and some like I have one that became a heart doctor, oncologist, right? And I just reconnected with him. He was a little 7-year-old boy when I knew him, and I was like, a little bit older. I would say I was 18 when he was 7. So it's hard for me to think of these little boys. And then one of the other ones who was about 14 when I was there and I was 18, he became a proctologist. Um, so they're very smart. Well, they always were very smart even then. I would say the 14-year-old was smart aleck, but he was 14. He was a 14-year-old boy. So he was, but I don't think I could go to him as a doctor because I just think of him as that little 14-year-old who was, getting hormonal things. That would be funny. I'm sure he's a great doctor. And for those who go to him, it's in Arizona. Both of those people are in Arizona. I am in New York for many years now, but they're from Arizona. And I'm sure many of the group was called Center Stage, Arizona. And I had a lot of fun there, did a lot of shows with them starting as early as when I was 7. It was through the Jewish Community Center in Arizona, in Phoenix, right near Christown. So if you're familiar with that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some may not, but that's okay. This is a no hustle, no force, just alignment and commitment. Commitment to you and being who you are. So I want to reframe money. Money is a relationship and not a struggle. That's what I had to get through, what I still get through. But I don't even just get through, it's just knowing, stepping into who you really are. Who are you? You're prosperous. You're not starting from zero ever. Money is not a struggle. It's a relationship. So I'm in my relationship with money. And so are you. And there's a difference between loving money and chasing money. Yes, I'm looking for opportunities, which is great, but I'm no longer as desperate as I was. Yes, I ask for help. I believe in asking. Never be afraid to ask. A closed mouth never gets fed. So it's okay to ask if you need it. Just go from the point of knowing that you have it, that it's there. That's the law of assumption. That's the law. The law is to know you have it. It's also commitment over wishing. Now, one of the things I teach in the school and what we're talking about today, you always have something that you know that other people don't know, or at least at the level you know it. Let's say if you know how to dance, depending on how long you took dance. I took a lot of years of tap dancing. I understand tap dancing. Would I tap dance now? Probably not without a lot of help, and I have a sore back, but I could tell you techniques. I could work with you if you've never taken a tap class in your life. I'm not going to teach dancing, by the way, but I know, and I do understand a lot of the stance and all that. So sometimes when I'm stage directing, because I do plays or directing anything, I could tell you how to stand or how to make something look a certain way based on my dance experience, because I danced for many years. I did gymnastics too. I could even probably choreograph. I just couldn't show you how to do it, which I've heard the one who did Dance Moms, I don't think she danced, but she may have danced in her past when she was young. So you can teach, just keeping that in mind. Don't do anything she does illegally. She did that. And don't yell at children. I think that's terrible. Encourage them. I think you should. But yes, could I teach it? Sure, I can teach some of the stuff. I'd have to probably rehash myself to practice. But I even took tap classes again as an adult I think now about 10 years ago. In fact, I wonder where my tap shoes are. And I think it was around my 50th, might have even been 12 years ago. Could it be that long? But I was around my 50th birthday. And by the way, no matter your age, depending on your health, I wouldn't mind taking tap again. I did enjoy it and I would love it. But I also took gymnastics and a bit of ballet. And I'm not going to teach dance, as I said at this moment. That's not what I'm doing, because there's a lot of other things I did growing up too. Acting. I do teach acting. I do guide actors. I can also encourage and tell you the business part of it. That's what I'm saying. I teach that. I can teach the business of show business. And I'm still in it, still doing it. I can teach you photography. I can also do photography. These are the things I do because these things I know. I took photography classes. I have a certification in commercial photography. And I've taken many classes in photography. I do not have a degree. Uh, I've I went to acting school. My mother said, "You better learn how to act." So she sent me to acting school. That used to be her joke. She loved it. I miss her a lot. She was quite funny. In fact, and I've had my plays have been produced in New York, pretty much off Broadway, community theater to off Broadway would be the status. Although I have some shows that I believe will be on Broadway or at least off Broadway. I assume and know that I will have a Drama Desk Award. I will have a Tony Award. I would like the Tony Award for acting and singing on Broadway, and I still believe that will happen. I did make it to Broadway, for those who want to know, as an usher. Yeah, not quite be very specific about what you want. I want to act and sing on the stage on Broadway, and that's certainly possible. When you hear about what's her name, 96, making her Broadway debut, we have time. I used to joke. I have to watch my jokes because sometimes they come true. Although it might be a belief level. Is I used to say, well, I'm going to be on Broadway even if I'm 70 years old and playing in the revival of Pippin as the grandmother. But I don't want that to be 8 years from now. I want to be on Broadway before then, and I will, and I am. So this is the law of assumption in action. So you understand how I've been these last few months and years since I picked up the Neville Goddard way. But I've been studying all of these things since I was very young. My first self-help book, somebody who did study law of assumption, he just called it something else. Two people, Shakti Gawain with creative visualization, and Dr. Wayne Dyer, Your Erroneous Zones. I read it at 15 years old. I think that's the year it came out, by the way. I think it was 77, something like that, when I was 15. And that was my break into that. Also, even before that age, at about the age of 8, I've been reading since I was 2.5. So mind you, I was able to read pretty high-level books starting as early as probably 4. Even 2.5, I was reading books, Dr. Seuss books, but I could read them. I didn't need to learn the alphabet. In fact, I didn't go to kindergarten for that very reason. By the time I was old enough for kindergarten, they didn't want to put me in there, my mother and the state, because I'm from Arizona, because I could read already at almost the 3rd grade level at the age of 5. So they thought I'd be bored learning the alphabet because I already knew it. And I knew how to color within the lines. I was already writing stories at a very young age. At about 4 to 5 years old, I would write stories, mostly episodes for Lassie. And I would write them, because we didn't have computers in my day, for those who are young and watching this. I would handwrite them in like stationery paper and send them to friends. And it would be like, there was this fireman. And I don't know how the stories were. Nobody kept track of those other than my mother for a long time knew. And one of the people I sent the letter to told me once it was something about a fireman. I don't remember it at all. And then there was always a little girl that Lassie would save. I'm sure it was a lot about dogs because I loved my dog. My dog was not a collie, was not named Lassie, but I did love the show. And I, I guess would understand the concept of it. My mother said they were original episodes. So, and I have written episodic television that has not been produced because I haven't sold it to the right people. I did have somebody who took some of the stuff, and he was a producer here. He was going to do it, but I guess he didn't finish the project. I had sold him the comedy sitcom type thing for his personal channel. I think I found them on my computer, which they were pretty good, pretty funny. I usually write dramas, my screenplays at least, and then I had several screenplays that placed. One of my screenplays placed in the top 50%, I'm sorry, top 50% of the Nichols Fellowship. And that screenplay was the top 10 of about 300 entries on a place called Book Ricks. And I did win at the time because of it. I had 3 different story developers, film developers who gave me feedback on the story. Not too bad. I did have a couple of also feedback sessions that I paid for on what is it? Something 32. And I'm still on it. It's really good. And you pay like $35. You can have a pitch session. So I've done a couple pitch sessions. I think 3. Good feedback. I did one pitch session on a different script that I want to make into a film that's actually at the beginning stages, not even complete, based on something that happened to me. Again, more along the lines of dramatic. When I write that, I'd like to write a comedy, and with a couple friends I have, but this is not about that. This is about the things that we love to do, and these are things I love to do. The commitment levels, this is the juicy teaching. So here we go. Stability and safety, which we all kind of acquire. I didn't grow up with a lot of, I guess, stability in the sense I had both my parents the whole time, and they never left my side. They never let me leave. Very protective as a semi-only child. I will call myself a semi-only child because I'm also a big sister. We raised my cousin from the time I was 1.5 until I was about 10. And he was with us he was 8 months old when I was 1.5. And he was with us till he was 8 years old. Then he came back to us when he was 15. And then by then I was closer to 17. So I had, for give or take 9 years of my life, I was a big sister. My childhood, at least. And then I was an only child to my parents, but they raised him as their own for a long time. By the way, I have manifested and I'm not scrambling anymore. I am never starting from zero ever again because I do collect my Social Security. I applied for it early. I'm 62. I got it the minute I was old enough to get it. And some people say, don't get it so early, you'll get more later. Well, you might, but then that means that I miss $12,000, give or take. Mine's about that. $12,000 a year that I would have had this whole year. If I hadn't applied for it, I would have not had. And I would have had to wait till I was 65 or whatever. So it's worth it for me to have the extra 12,000. It's actually a little more now. They went up a little. They do go up. And that's what I'm going to get. That's what I'm making. That's guaranteed the rest of my life. Let's hope it's long. And it will always go up. At least it should. And if I get so much money that my Social Security becomes, obsolete, or they don't want to pay it to me, all power to them. I'm not afraid of that. People say you can't make a certain amount before you're 65. They'll cancel it or they'll make you pay it back. Look, if when I book my Broadway show and I get paid $2,500 a week, if that's too much for me to collect my own Social Security, okay, then I'm making $2,500 a week or more. It's probably up this year. If I make let's say $3,000 a week in a Broadway show, okay, no Social Security. When that show closes or my contract ends, then I maybe go back to my whatever it is at the time because I will have added on to it. That's cool with me. I'm not fighting the government rules, those rules. I am certainly a liberal Democrat, just so you know. If you're not, you may not like some of the stuff I say because I'm very vocal about who I am and what I am. This one's going to be really cool, though. It's laid back when I'm teaching. So these are, so the reframe for money we just did. Now we're talking about commitment levels. I have committed to January this month, I will make $4,000. Actually, I get 1,023. That's my Social Security, so that's guaranteed. I only need 2,977 from my things that I do. And if I get more, that's all power to me. Hey, a lot of my money when I make it, because I'm willing to earn it, will go back into my business, which I'm building, which I love doing. And I would love you to be part of that because a lot of it helps you build your business and become who you are. Even if you are way before retirement age and you don't want to collect your retirement, or you get to retirement age, 62, 65, 67, they may have moved it up to, I'm not sure. But if that happens, you don't have to get your Social Security until you want to. If you're doing your own business and you're making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands, I could live well. If I made $4,000 a month between January until next year at this time, to me, that's actually, some of it will go back in my business. That's really good living. The most I've ever made in a year, mind you, is $23,000 on the books. And most of mine have been on the books. If I get on stuff off the books, it's very little things. I can't say I've made in any one year, probably my best year off the books, I may have made $5,000, and that would be my best year. The government didn't hear that because I don't even know that I did. Sometimes I probably made 1,000 a whole year off the books. But and I had people help me. I had gifts and all that stuff. You're allowed gift money. I did get a couple inheritances in my lifetime that are obviously on the books. Those weren't off the books. Got $7,000 from when my father died. My mother got the rest of it, of course, and understandably. But I think she split it with me. He died when I was 23. And then when I had an uncle who died when I was somewhere in my 20s or early 30s, I think early 30s, and he had left money to my father who had passed away long before that. As I said, I was 23. So my Uncle Sam, yes, he really was my Uncle Sam. That was his name, Samuel. He left money to my father. And because of the laws and he never married and he didn't have any children, he left it to all his siblings. My dad was one of 8 children. And so I believe at that point, besides him passing away, 6 were still left. But my dad was on that list. So he had left the money to 7 of them. About that, I think that was correct. Well, actually, one was already deceased. He died when I was 7. So he had 7 brothers and sisters, Uncle Sam, but 2 had died. Pete had been dead a long time. So I would say that he left it to the 5 of them, which included my dad and my aunts and my uncles, uncles, 2 of them, and 2 aunts, and my dad being one of his brothers. My dad was deceased and he had never changed the will after that. So it goes to the first person related. Because my mother had remarried, I actually became the beneficiary of that thing. It was only $17,000, but I think that was great. And I had a really good time with $17,000. I paid off a lot of bills, student loan. My student loan was very low. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I paid off some credit card debt and I had really good time. And that was around 96. And a lot of great things happened between 96 and that money lasted me quite a while. I even started an IRA, but I had to cash that out a few years later. So I was in my 20s. I had to cash that out a few years later. No, 30s, had to be, to get my wisdom teeth out. All 4 of them, which I needed, and I didn't have the insurance at the time, different place. Again, you're learning more about my life than I thought I'd talk about, but it's just what's up. So my goal right now, $4,000 a month. I only have to make $2,977 just to meet the goal. I certainly plan on making more. I plan on doing that. My goal for the year of 2006 is each month to match it and double it would be great. So let's say February, I would aim for 8,000. But to keep my mind where right now, my assumption can only go so far because I'm just growing. I could grow tomorrow to the point where I think 8,000 is really easy. I think 4,000 is easy. I think 2,977 is easy. Because again, 1,023 I've already taken care of. Not a problem. I have that every month. So every month that I go up, all I have to do is think what makes me meet that amount. So 2,977 in January. And I certainly have skills. I certainly have programs, things that would service you and help you that will get me going. I'm making money from other means too. Again, these businesses have started last year, not a whole year ago. I think I'm into it, really, really actively into it. I've been building businesses and selling things for a lot of years, but this business form, I've been working on for probably 9 to 11 months, very seriously. And I have made money from it. Again, these are all on the books because they're all legal and they're through PayPal and they do turn it in. In fact, I was talking about cash today. So let's do that. How many of you have this cash? I have $4 or $5 right now in cash. I haven't used cash in so long that it just is collecting in my wallet, which is great. But everything I do is PayPal and it's phone. It's actually iPhone. I swipe my iPhone. I don't even use the cards. I have the cards. Sometimes I carry them with me, but I don't really need them. I have my PayPal cards. I have my bank card, but I can do my bank with Zelle. I do PayPal because I do have my, ways you can pay me if you want to. My school sends me a little bit of money each month, depending on how many paying people I have. And, I get some money from Facebook, from Meta. These are lower amounts at this point. I don't know how they'll change. Please subscribe here because the more I get, eventually I can monetize my YouTube, which I'd love to because it helps you be monetized. But I'm at 36 things. I'm very grateful to have all 36 of you, and I'd love to have 100,000 more. I'd love to have 100 more. It's all beautiful to me. I want to help you. I want us all to thrive because the more we thrive, the better our lives are. Quality of life, quantity of life is great, but quality of life helps that happen. I believe in that. Trust yourself to receive it. When I'm thinking right now, 2,977 is not hard. It's just not. It really isn't. One time I got $2,500 in 4 days. I manifested that before I knew who Neville Goddard was, but it was from the other manifestation techniques, which are really based on that because he was the father of it or the grandfather of it. Now you could say Dr. Wayne Dyer was a good guide for me to these techniques. And then as time went on, other people were brought into my attention until I figured out who Neville Goddard was, which was about, it could be up to stuff. My connection is, I hope they reconnect. If you're here, please send anything. Anybody on chat? I don't know, but you'd have to say something for me to know. And then, so I've decided the grounding thing, this is a good point, and I want to work with people to do this in your business if you join this particular school that I'm talking about right now, which is the What's My Thing. I can help you discover what your thing is if you don't have it yet, easily enough, and it's very easy. And then I can help you with the things you need for your business or you can also hire out. You can hire me. I have some marketing things. I can't do it all, but I do a lot. So you can see some of the things I offer. You will get a discount if you're in my school for some of the things I charge more for. Let's say if you join one of the tiers, even if you do the regular tiers, it's just different price levels. I have a package that I only do a few of, maybe 3 a year, maybe 4, where you get 6 months, you get videos, I make them for you, I help you make them, etc., for your business, whatever it may be, and I help you with the marketing. That's $5,555, the regular price, if you're not in my school. Okay. Now, some of these things may go up as we get into the new year, or if they're going well and we're doing well, things will raise because they do. For $5,555, if you join my school, that package, and that's just one of the packages. I have packages 1,111. I have packages all the way down to $11. It's not even a whole package, but it's an offer. $11. Okay, that's my lowest offer at this point. If you're in my school as a free member, you get that offer for $9. That's how it works. So let's say you wanted my $5,555 marketing offer for your business and you were in my school. It will be offered to you in the school only as a free tier. You would get that one for, I would say, $5,000. Yeah, 5,000, maybe 4,999. And then if you pay for the $11 a month tier, it's just $11 a month, which ends up, being like 111 a year. Something like that, maybe a little more, because you're getting a bit of a savings. $11 a month. If you pay it by the month, you would get that same package, and I'd probably drop another 100, maybe more. If you join for 1 year and you pay nothing for a year in the sense of the school, $111. If you join for $111 right now and you wanted that $5,555 package, I would do it for $4,444 for my 1 year people. So you're saving $1,000 and you only paid $111. So that's incredible. If you decided you wanted that, again, I will cut it off at a certain point, or you'd have to hold until I could do a certain amount a year. But that's the kind of things you will get from there, all the way down. If you're paying $11 a month, my $11 that goes down to $9 to my free people in school, well, you'll get it for free if you pay $11 a month. And if you pay $111, I have a higher package from What's My Thing. It's called What's My Thing Ange. There's What's My Thing Ange 2. That's $33. You're going to get that for free for sure. And maybe even the $77 one if you're in my year. That's up to you. But you can join right now for free. and get a lot of stuff, and you'll know more about that there. So, what it means to me. So I decided that every month I'm going to make at least 1,000 more. So this month, January, $4,000. Only have to make 2,977 because again, I'm not starting from zero. I have my monthly Social Security, and I would love your help with that because if you join me, these things happen. And then in February, if I'm not quite there in my creation, although I call myself, also give yourself a good name. Like I am Angela, the multimillionaire Renaissance woman. That's my identity. That's who I am. And I am. I do Renaissance things. I do the things I love and make lots of money from it because there's nothing wrong with that. We will talk about that mindset. And I would say I mostly call myself a Renaissance woman. I call myself a rich bitch Renaissance woman, but I'm rich. I'm Angela, the rich Renaissance woman, but in full, I'm really Angela, the multimillionaire Renaissance woman. If that takes 5 years, if that takes 1 year, if that takes 20 years, well, as long as I'm surviving it, that's what it is. To be a millionaire in today's world, you say, I hit $1 million, not necessarily. And of course, by the time you hit $1 million, you won't really have $1 million because some things go out for your businesses, your living, etc. So let's say you would want to at least aim for 1.5 million as your first goal. That is my first goal in my millions is 1.5 millions, and I have 500,000 above and beyond, and I'm still a millionaire. That said, multimillionaire, of course, that means what it means. And I've decided that for every $4,000 I make this year, 500 goes into my savings in a high yield CD. I have worked with, and I'll tell you how to work with ChatGPT or broker or whatever you want. I can help you with that because I've been doing that about what to do with your, I think high yield CDs are good that last a year, but they suggested that every time I make 4,000, I put 500 in a different high yield one, maybe 3 or 4 of them so that I have at different times of the month throughout the year, because there'll be 1-year CDs. Then I will have it to reinvest or to use for something or use half or reinvest half and then start all over again. Every $4,000, $500. So let's say it works that I make $8,000 in February, that it becomes easy for me. And I decide that, then that means I have $1,000 for my high yield CD, but I've already put 500 from the month before. So then I put another 1,000 in a high yield in another area. So then this money just keeps going up. To keep my mind right now where it is financially as I grow and learn and become the multimillionaire that I am, but I am the multimillionaire somewhere in this timeline that we have in our mind. I'm going to add 1,000 a month. So 4,000 now for January, that'll be 2,977. Next month, it will be $5,000. So that'll be 3,977. Because again, I don't have zero. If you have a job, you don't have zero. What do you make a month? And what do you want to make a month that you're not making? That your boss is not paying you, that the city is not paying you, that whoever the powers that be are paying you are not paying you. So we're going to build on that in this particular school. This changes your identity. And I bet if you can manifest it, you start feeling better. So if this resonates, I've created a space where we can explore this together, which I told you is the SKOOL community. And I would love for you to be there and join me. And we can talk about things. You can also advertise what you do, and I will advertise it there as long as it doesn't conflict completely with what I do. I mean, if you're doing the same thing I'm doing, I would ask you not to advertise it there. Doesn't mean you can't advertise it other places, and I will help you with advertising, but I would prefer you not put a sales pitch out there in a place that I'm doing the same thing. Competition. And it's not really competition. There's no such thing. But, if we too much vary in prices, it's like, it's unfair to me because I started the group. You can start your own group and I will help you do that. Start your own school if that's what you want to do. And you can advertise that. But it's a different thing if you're doing something similar to me. But we can talk about that. I think it's great for people to match me. And if you want to invest in the business even more than that, I can offer you affiliates and I possibly will, when you get a little money for everybody who joins under your name, that would happen because you get it on SKOOL. If somebody joins under your name, and if I offer affiliates, I haven't yet, but we'll see what happens. You would get a percentage of what the person who joins. Let's say somebody joins for 111 a year, but I've given you an affiliate and they do it through your name, you would get like 30% of that each month. And, well, the one time they pay. If they do the monthly at $11, you would say, let's say I set up an affiliate for you that way, you get 30% of that every month because they joined under your affiliate. If I offer that, yes. So I love you all. Remember, you don't need to start from zero. You start with who you already are, because obviously you've gotten through life this far. If you're completely flat broke, and I've been there to some degree, there's somebody who will loan you. Again, closed mouth doesn't get fed, so ask. There's nothing wrong with asking. There's nothing wrong with doing a GoFundMe if you need to. There's nothing, I don't judge anybody, even if they're on the streets and they have to, you know, beg for money. I think that they do. They call it begging, but you got to ask. If you don't ask, it doesn't happen. Some of them, it's obvious, but ask. Ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help for anything in today's world. Most of the time, it's available. If you need, you know, medical care, etc., you can check into that. You can, there's somebody somewhere who will help you. If you join my school, you can put that out there. Let's say, look, I need help with this. I need help with how to buy a house or how to get housing. I'm working on that right now. So I am reaching out to you if you're in New York, preferably. I prefer, you know, Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. I am right now nomadic status, but earning my money. Right now, working on some things that may help me. I'm a writer. I also have a lot of other skills, photography, etc. I am right now offering, just to build up my portfolio that will change in price, micro weddings. If you're getting what it will be, have to be here, and events, 2 hours that I will photograph for you. And then there's other offerings if you want more than 2 hours, and I will go to where you are as long as it's in New York and possibly New Jersey for those kind of things, as long as it's not too far away that I can't commute there at a reasonable price. It's $1,000 for 2 hours. If you want more, I can, you know, offer you a different price. If you go to my Facebook, which you should go to if you want to know more, because I advertise everything there. I will try to advertise more here too for you, maybe on a daily basis, and do little videos for those little ones. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can do that on Facebook. I could always take them down, but if, you know, if the special's over, etc., but I can leave them up too. That's just something I'm working on now. I'm good. I have a TikTok. I have those things, so I'll start advertising those so you can find me. I have a photography page that I advertise on Facebook, Angel Aura Photography, and you may find that Angel Aura Photography page on Facebook if you're there. It's a good place if you buy photos or you want photography services, because I do both, or photography classes. I have 12-week classes and many things. We'll talk about that. That'll be also on the school. If you join the school, I try to advertise everything there from time to time that I do. So, Happy New Year. I wanted to share. Get itchy.